Chapter 1. The Awakening You Never Saw Coming. Have you ever woken up one morning feeling different? Like something inside you shifted overnight, and suddenly the world around you doesn't quite fit anymore? The same conversations feel empty, the same people drain you, and even your own reflection looks unfamiliar, as if your soul is whispering, "It's time to rise." That, dear soul, is how the ascension begins. It doesn't come with thunder or lightning. It comes quietly, through a restlessness you can't explain, through the ache of knowing you were meant for something more. And if you're on the twin flame journey, this transformation is never yours alone. When you start to ascend, your twin feels it too, no matter the distance, no matter the silence. The subtle stirring of the soul. At first, you may not recognize what's happening. You just sense that life is pushing you to change, to shed old versions of yourself like layers of forgotten skin. It might begin with confusion. Why do I suddenly crave solitude? Why can't I tolerate the noise, the chaos, the gossip I used to enjoy? Why does my heart feel like it's expanding, aching, yet so full of love all at once? These are the early whispers of ascension, the energetic evolution of your soul. And in the twin flame connection, this shift is amplified 1,000-fold. Because you're not just transforming as an individual, you're transforming as part of a mirrored pair. Every vibration you raise ripples through the energetic cord that links you and your twin, connection forged long before you met in this lifetime. When you awaken, the signal travels instantly. It lights up the same dormant spark within them, even if they're halfway across the planet, even if they've never heard the word ascension. The discomfort of becoming light. Ascension is not all serenity and bliss. It's raw, disorienting, and often painful, because you are literally releasing density from your system. Old trauma, old beliefs, old timelines. Your body may feel it as exhaustion, dizziness, or a sudden wave of tears for no reason. You might feel your chest burn with energy, your ears ring with frequencies, or your heart race as though it's trying to break free from its cage. That's your body adjusting to new frequencies, the frequency of truth. The irony? While your conscious mind feels like it's unraveling, your higher self is smiling. Because this chaos is the clearing, the purification before the rise. And somewhere in the unseen, your twin flame senses it. Maybe they can't name it. Maybe they only feel anxiety, longing, or sudden flashes of you in their mind. But make no mistake, your evolution calls theirs forward. Like two stars orbiting the same center, your energies begin to spin faster, sinking closer, rising together. When the physical world stops making sense. As you ascend, your external world often starts to crumble. Jobs end. Friendships fade. Old dreams dissolve. And it feels like loss, until you realize it's actually space being made for the new frequency you're embodying. Many twin flames experience a sudden separation during this phase. One runs, the other chases. One retreats into fear, the other into faith. But this too is part of the ascension process. Because separation is not punishment, it's alignment. The universe rearranges both of you to remove what cannot exist in the vibration of unconditional love. So when your twin pulls away, when communication stops, when everything hurts, that's not rejection. That's divine preparation. The universe is saying, rise higher first. Clear your energy. When you both are ready, love will return on a higher frequency. The energy cord, a bridge between dimensions. If you could see it, you'd notice a thin golden filament connecting your heart to theirs, the energetic cord of the twin flame union. It pulses with light every time you think of them. Every prayer, every tear, every moment of surrender strengthens it. And when you start ascending, that cord carries your light directly to their soul. That's why so many report vivid dreams of their twin during intense spiritual shifts. You might feel them touch your hand in meditation. You might wake up to their name in your mind, or feel their energy around you when you're most vulnerable. It's not fantasy. It's telepathic resonance, the communication of souls beyond physical boundaries. Because in 5D, fifth dimension of consciousness, energy is language and love is the voice that speaks it. The paradox of distance. You may wonder, if we're so connected, why aren't we together? That's the paradox of the ascension path. The more you ascend, the more your ego dissolves, and the less you need them to fill your emptiness. You begin to understand that the real reunion starts Within. The moment you align with your higher self, when your masculine and feminine energies inside you begin to dance in harmony, you start to mirror the union that will one day manifest. Externally, your twin can feel that shift. When you choose self-love instead of longing, they feel the energetic relief, the absence of pressure. And that's often when they start awakening too. Because your healing becomes the invitation for theirs. The universe's secret rhythm. Everything in this journey happens in perfect timing. When your energy expands, the universe matches it with lessons designed to strengthen you. Sometimes it sends challenges to test your boundaries. Sometimes it removes distractions to sharpen your focus. And sometimes it sends silence to teach you that love doesn't need constant proof to exist. Think of it like music. Each of you is a note, distinct but meant to harmonize. When one note vibrates higher, the other naturally resonates, seeking to match its pitch. That is how ascension unfolds in a twin flame bond, a symphony of awakening that transcends logic. The moment you realize, this was never about romance, there comes a point where you stop asking, when will we be together? And start asking, what am I meant to become through this? That's when ascension deepens. You see that your connection isn't just about love between two people. It's about love as a frequency, one that has the power to heal, to awaken, to elevate the collective. Every time you forgive, you raise not just your vibration, but the vibration of the planet. Every time you choose peace instead of reaction, your twin feels it too. Because ascension is contagious, it spreads through consciousness like ripples on a still lake. The quiet knowing. Eventually, the storms settle. The fear softens. You start to feel a quiet peace that doesn't depend on outcomes. You realize you don't have to chase love because you are love. And somewhere on the other side of the invisible thread, your twin begins to remember too. Maybe they dream of you. Maybe they feel a sudden urge to change their life. Maybe they simply stop running without knowing why. That's the power of ascension. It calls both souls home, not through force but through frequency. You evolve and they follow not because they must, but because your light awakens theirs. And one day, without trying, you'll meet again at the vibration of unconditional love, no longer seeking completion but reflecting it. Closing reflection. So, if you feel lost right now, if your body aches, your emotions surge, and you don't recognize yourself anymore, breathe. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. This is the birth of your higher self, and through you the rebirth of your connection. Every wave of energy, every sleepless night, every tear shed in silence, they are the universe's way of reshaping you for what's coming. Because ascension isn't about escaping the human experience. It's about anchoring heaven into it. You and your twin are not just lovers of destiny. You are co-architects of evolution, two halves of a cosmic mirror learning how to shine together. And the world, whether it knows it or not, ascends a little higher every time you choose love over fear. Chapter 2. The Science of Light. What happens when your soul expands? There's a moment on every spiritual journey when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this transforming in me? Ascension is not random. It is an intricate process, physical, emotional, and energetic, where light enters your system and begins to reprogram everything you thought you were. And when you are a twin flame, that reprogramming happens in stereo. Two bodies, two hearts, one frequency being tuned to the same divine pitch. Let's go deeper into the science of light, not the kind studied under a microscope, but the living light that reshapes your consciousness and connects you to your twin through the unseen. 1. The energetic blueprint. Your body as a portal. Your body is not just flesh and bone. It's an electromagnetic field, a network of energy channels, known in Eastern systems as nadis or meridians, that carry your soul's vibration. When the ascension process begins, high-frequency light from your higher self, your soul's purest essence, begins to stream through this network. Imagine sunlight entering a dusty room. Suddenly, every particle floating in the air becomes visible. That's what happens inside you. The light exposes everything that is not aligned with love, old beliefs, repressed emotions, karmic residues. It doesn't come to punish you. It comes to illuminate you. But illumination can hurt, especially when the light hits parts of you that have lived in darkness for too long. That's why so many people on the ascension path feel physical and emotional turbulence. Your body is detoxing lower frequencies, preparing to hold more light. And because your twin flame shares your energetic signature, every upgrade you experience sends a wave through that shared field, nudging their own system to recalibrate too. 2. The physical symptoms. When the body speaks the language of energy, you might feel as if your body is rebelling. Sudden fatigue that sleep can't fix. Random aches in the heart or solar plexus area. Changes in appetite, digestion, or temperature regulation. Your DNA itself is learning to operate at a higher frequency. Scientists already know that human cells emit biophotons, weak bursts of light that correspond to cellular communication. In ascension, those light emissions increase, signaling a literal shift in your energy field. You are becoming more luminous, more transparent to higher vibrations. Can be overwhelming. You might crave solitude or nature because your nervous system is hyper-attuned to everything around you. Your senses sharpen. Music feels deeper. Colors look brighter. Even silence begins to hum. This is not imagination. It's perception expanding beyond the 3D filter. You are learning to feel energy as clearly as sound or touch. And if you suddenly think of your twin and feel warmth in your chest or tingling in your hands, that's not coincidence. That's quantum entanglement of the soul, proof that energy transcends distance. 3. The emotional detox, releasing the weight of centuries. After the body begins to purge, emotions rise like tides. Grief you can't explain. Anger that seems to come from nowhere. Memories resurfacing with unbearable clarity. This is the emotional purge, where your heart clears density from this lifetime and often from others. Your twin flame acts as a mirror, reflecting the wounds you have yet to heal. If they ghost you, abandon you, or trigger your deepest insecurities, it's not cruelty, it's alchemy. Every emotion you transmute becomes light that benefits both of you. When you forgive, both hearts lighten. When you resist, both hearts ache. That's why self-love is not selfishness in this journey. It's shared healing. Picture your heart as a vessel. Every time you let go of pain, more divine light fills it. And because the connection is mirrored, your twin begins to feel safe enough to open. There's 2. Slowly, the emotional chords that once held pain begin to hum with compassion instead. 4. The neural rewiring, your mind learning a new language. Ascension also changes the way your brain works. The logical, survival-oriented circuits of the old self start to quiet down, while the intuitive and empathic centers, located in the heart and the right hemisphere, begin to light up. You start to think in patterns, synchronicities, and sensations rather than linear reasoning. This can feel confusing at first. You might lose interest in gossip, arguments, or goals that once fueled your ego. You crave authenticity, stillness, meaning. The universe starts speaking through numbers, songs, and coincidences. 1111, 222, feathers, butterflies, random phrases on billboards. They all seem to whisper messages only you can decode. This is not superstition. It's resonance. Your expanded consciousness is tuning into the field of information that underlies reality, the quantum matrix of creation itself. And because your twin flame shares that same frequency band, their thoughts, moods, and even physical sensations can echo within you. It's telepathy born from shared evolution, not fantasy, but the physics of consciousness aligning. 5. The spiritual heart, your inner sun awakening. As you ascend, your heart chakra becomes the epicenter of everything. It burns, expands, aches, glows. Sometimes it feels too much to handle. That's because you are learning to hold divine love, not the conditional love of 3D, but the infinite compassion of your higher self. You might wake in the night feeling waves of warmth radiating from your chest. You might cry without sadness, tears of recognition, of remembering who you truly are. This is the heart activation, and it often happens in tandem with your twins. When one heart opens, the other feels the pull. Because your souls are magnetically coded to evolve together, your emotional breakthroughs send ripples of awakening across dimensions. That's why, after deep moments of surrender or forgiveness, you might suddenly sense peace about the connection. That peace means both hearts are syncing to a higher octave. 6. The mirror response, when one ascends, both are triggered. Many twins mistake this stage for regression. You feel good for a while, connected, centered, peaceful, and then, out of nowhere, your twin retreats, shuts down, or mirrors your old wounds back at you. But that's not failure, it's feedback. When your vibration rises, the energetic bond intensifies. Whatever still holds fear in either of you becomes amplified for purification. If you've cleared abandonment wounds, they might suddenly face theirs. If you've healed shame, they may confront their self-worth. You are two sides of the same lesson being learned through different experiences. That's why patience is sacred in this process. The more compassion you offer yourself, the more you offer them through the shared field. 7. The higher frequency body living as light. Eventually, the symptoms subside. Your body adapts to carrying higher frequencies. You start to feel lighter, calmer, more grounded in the now. You may notice your intuition becoming razor sharp. You sense truth immediately, in words, people, environments. You no longer tolerate what drains your light, not out of judgment but out of alignment. Your twin may begin to mirror this new stability. They might suddenly reach out, make life changes, or experience synchronicities that lead them back to your energy. Because once one half stabilizes in a higher vibration, the other is magnetically drawn toward resonance. It's the law of frequency. What vibrates together aligns together. 8. Integration, learning to live between worlds. Ascension doesn't mean escaping the human world. It means living in it from a higher perspective. You still feel pain, still face challenges, but you no longer drown in them. You become the calm within the storm, the observer, not the victim. At this stage, you begin to balance your 5D awareness with your 3D life. Meditation, nature, conscious breathing, and creative expression become tools to anchor light into daily experience. You realize that ascension is not about leaving Earth. It's about transforming it through your presence. And as you embody that light, your twin feels it. Your peace becomes their permission to find peace. Your forgiveness becomes their chance to start again. 9. The synchronization of souls. Eventually, something miraculous happens. Without planning or forcing, your paths start to align again. Maybe through dreams, messages, or unexpected encounters. Feels effortless, organic, as if the universe is orchestrating every detail. This is energetic synchronization, when both twins vibrate in the same frequency of unconditional love. It's the prelude to union. But more importantly, it's proof that evolution is real. Because even if physical reunion hasn't happened yet, the connection already exists beyond space and time. You start to sense them not as someone out there, but as an extension of your own energy, a mirror soul reflecting your divine wholeness. 10. The light within becomes the world without. When your inner frequency stabilizes, reality shifts around you. Opportunities appear effortlessly. You attract people who match your authenticity. Synchronicities become constant, a living dialogue with the universe. You no longer chase love. You radiate it. You no longer search for purpose. You embody it. And your twin, whether near or far, feels it like sunlight breaking through clouds. They too begin to rise, drawn by the gravitational pull of your light. Because in truth, your ascension is their invitation. Every breath of gratitude you take, every act of kindness, every moment you choose faith over fear. It ripples through the bond, helping both of you evolve. Closing reflection. Ascension is not a destination. It's a continuous unfolding. A spiral of light that leads you home, again and again, to yourself. It's the most intimate miracle. To realize that you are transforming not just for love, but as love. So the next time your heart burns, your body trembles, or your emotions surge, remember, you are not breaking apart. You are breaking into light. And somewhere your twin flame is feeling that same spark, that same ache, that same invitation to rise. You are the same fire, learning to burn brighter together. Chapter 3. The Purging Storm, when darkness cleanses before the union. There comes a point in every ascension journey where the light you've invited into your life begins to expose everything that isn't aligned with it. It's beautiful until it's not. Because before light becomes peace, it becomes chaos. Before awakening becomes bliss, it becomes purging. This is the part of the twin flame journey most don't talk about, the storm before the calm. And yet it's here in the darkness that your highest transformation is born. 1. The storm arrives. Quietly. It rarely begins with warning. You wake up one morning and the world feels heavier. The peace you worked so hard to cultivate begins to tremble. Emotions surge for no reason. Suddenly, the people, jobs, or habits that once felt safe start to fall away. You might think something went wrong, that you're regressing or losing your light. But this isn't regression. This is the purge, the final sweep of energy clearing out everything that cannot rise with you into the higher vibration. When you invited light into your being, you didn't just summon calm. You summoned truth. And truth burns away illusion. It's not that the darkness suddenly appeared. It was always there. You're just finally bright enough to see it. 2. The mirror of shadows. For twin flames, this phase feels like standing in front of the most unfiltered mirror in existence. Your twin becomes that mirror. Every wound, every fear, every pattern you thought you had healed resurfaces. Through them, if you fear abandonment, they might withdraw. If you struggle with control, they might rebel. If you've avoided your own pain, they might trigger it so sharply it feels like betrayal. But remember this. Your twin is not here to destroy you. They are here to show you. The universe designed this mirror not to punish but to purify. Because only through facing your shadow can you embody the frequency of unconditional love. You cannot claim divine union while still at war with yourself. So when they walk away, ignore your messages or act cold, stop and ask, what part of me is being asked to heal right now? What emotion am I being invited to release rather than project? That's where the gold hides, beneath the ashes of ego, waiting to be unearthed. 3. The breakdown of identity. During the purging storm, your ego, the structure built to protect you in 3D, begins to crumble. It's terrifying. The roles, titles, and beliefs that once gave you safety no longer fit. It feels like the universe is taking everything away, but what it's really doing is stripping you back to essence. You might cry until your chest aches. You might question every spiritual truth you've learned. You might even resent your twin for causing all this pain. But this is the dismantling of illusion, the dissolving of the small self so your higher self can step forward. You are not losing your identity. You are remembering the infinite one beneath it. It's like the caterpillar's metamorphosis. Before it becomes a butterfly, its entire body liquefies inside the cocoon. No part of it remains the same. And yet, from that destruction, something divine takes shape. 4. The body as a battlefield. The purging storm is not just emotional. It's physical. You might experience heart palpitations, waves of heat, sudden fatigue, or nausea. These are not signs of illness, though of course, care for your health. They're signs of energetic transmutation. As your vibration rises, your body releases stored trauma, old frequencies held in muscles, organs, even DNA. You may feel energy surging through your spine, buzzing at the crown of your head, or pulsating at your heart center. Your nervous system is recalibrating to hold higher consciousness. Sometimes, this intensity coincides with your twin's emotional shifts. You might feel heavy for no reason, only to learn later that they were going through their own breakdown. You might sense pressure in your heart when they're grieving or anxious. This is the mysterious empathy of the shared soul, a reminder that you are connected beyond logic. 5. Emotional whirlwinds from rage to reverence. As the storm deepens, emotions surface in waves. Rage, fear, guilt, despair. You might think you've lost all spiritual progress, but this is actually the graduation test of the soul. Can you stay present with your feelings without identifying with them? Can you allow the pain to move through you rather than define you? The truth is, emotions are energy in motion. They come to be witnessed, not resisted. Each time you feel deeply without judgment, you free a trapped frequency inside you. And every release raises both your vibration and your twins. Because the connection is mirrored, your courage to feel gives them permission to feel. Your surrender teaches their soul how to surrender. That's why the storm feels like you're carrying two hearts, because in a way you are. 6. The illusion of separation. During the purge, separation often intensifies. Maybe your twin cuts contact. Maybe they seem to regress, choosing old habits or relationships. You feel abandoned again, as if the universe has betrayed you. But remember, separation is an illusion designed to trigger healing. When you feel their absence, you are being guided to find presence within yourself. The love you thought you lost was never between two humans, it was the energy of Source moving through both. The distance is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the universe saying, can you still love when there's nothing to hold? Because only when you love without grasping does your vibration stabilize into the frequency of union. 7. The ego death. Every twin flame journey eventually leads to what mystics call the ego death. It's the point where you surrender control completely, not because you give up, but because you realize you never had control in the first place. You stop trying to make the connection fit a timeline. You stop trying to fix or awaken your twin. You stop chasing validation. In that stillness, something miraculous happens. Peace emerges. You see your twin not as the source of love, but as the mirror of it. You recognize that the separation was never between two people, but between your soul and your higher self. And now that illusion collapses. Ego death feels like free fall. But what's really dying is the version of you that believed love was something to earn. 8. The gift hidden in the pain. Once the purge reaches its peak, there's a moment brief, sacred, when silence fills the space. No more questions. No more fighting. Just presence. And in that stillness, you begin to see the purpose of it all. The pain wasn't punishment. It was purification. Your heartbreak was a doorway to divine compassion. Your tears were baptismal water, washing away lifetimes of fear. You realized that your twin was never your enemy or savior. They were the catalyst, the spark that forced you to remember your own light. That is the hidden gift of the purging storm. It strips you bare so love can rebuild you from truth. 9. Rising from the rubble. After the breakdown comes breakthrough. The emotional intensity begins to soften. You start breathing again, slower, deeper, more consciously. Your body feels lighter. Your thoughts calmer. The world brighter. This is the first sunrise after the storm. You are no longer seeking peace, you are peace. You no longer beg for signs, you live as one. Your twin too begins to shift, often quietly. They may not understand it, but something inside them starts to heal. Because the energetic cord between you now hums with clarity instead of pain. The storm didn't destroy your connection. Purified it. 10. The purpose of the purge. So why does this have to happen? Why can't love just be simple, soft, and constant? Because unconditional love cannot grow in the soil of attachment. The purge burns away everything that is not truth. Fear, control, dependency, leaving only essence. And essence cannot be taken away. That's the point of ascension, to evolve love from need into creation, to transmute personal desire into divine purpose, to become so aligned with the frequency of your soul that nothing external can shake it. When you reach this state, you no longer chase your twin, you magnetize them. You no longer seek union, you embody it. And in that embodiment, physical reunion becomes inevitable, not because you forced it, but because you became it. Closing reflection. The purging storm is not the end of your story. It is the sacred passage every twin flame must walk before crossing into union. It's the night before dawn, the silence before music, the darkness before creation. So when everything feels like it's falling apart, breathe. You are not being punished. You are being purified. Your soul is remembering what it means to love without fear. And as you rise, so does your twin. Because in truth, there was never two. Only one light learning to shine through two hearts. Chapter 4. The mirror dance, how twin flames reflect, trigger, and heal each other. There's a saying among awakened souls. Your twin flame isn't your other half. They're your clearest mirror. The mirror dance is the most sacred, yet the most misunderstood part of the twin flame journey. It is not a waltz of romance. It's a ballet of truth. Every movement, every step, every trigger is choreography written by the soul, designed to strip you down, to reveal what you've hidden even from yourself. Because in the mirror of your twin, you meet everything you've ever avoided. And only when you dare to look without running, without judging, do you begin to see not just them but you. 1. The sacred law of reflection. In a universe built on vibration, like attracts like and mirrors mirror, your twin flame is not here to complete you but to reflect you. They are the embodiment of your own frequency, the luminous and the shadowed alike. When you gaze into their eyes, you're not looking at another person. You're looking into your soul projected outward, giving form to lessons too deep to learn in isolation. That's why their presence can feel intoxicating and terrifying at the same time. The love is so pure, so magnetic, that it bypasses logic and pierces straight through the armor you've worn for lifetimes. And the triggers, those painful confrontations, are not cruelty. They are light piercing the veil of illusion. Every argument, every silence, every misunderstanding is energy trying to reveal itself, asking to be transmuted into love. 2. When love feels like fire. You may have noticed that no one can trigger you quite like your twin. They say one word, and suddenly your entire nervous system flares. A text unanswered feels like abandonment. A boundary feels like rejection. A difference of opinion feels like betrayal. Why? Because the mirror doesn't just show the pretty parts. It reveals your unhealed wounds. Your twin's actions, even their absence, activate buried emotions within you. They press on the old bruises of childhood, past lifetimes, ancestral pain. The mind calls it rejection, but the soul calls it revelation. And yet, within every trigger lies an invitation. Will you love yourself here too? That's the dance, the fire that both burns and purifies. Each trigger is a step, and each step, if embraced, brings you closer to divine love. 3. The hidden purpose of pain. When you feel triggered, the ego's first instinct is to defend, to blame, to withdraw, or to demand validation. But in the mirror dynamic, those reactions are just reflections of internal imbalance. If your twin ignores you, perhaps you are being called to listen to yourself. If they seem distant, perhaps you are meant to stop abandoning your inner child. If they seem unavailable, perhaps you are being guided to reclaim your emotional independence. The pain is not punishment. It's pointing you home. Every wave of discomfort is a flashlight illuminating where love has yet to flow freely within you. And as you heal, your twin's reflection naturally changes. Because the mirror can only show what you project. 4. The magnetic polarity of masculine and feminine. The mirror dance is powered by polarity, the sacred tension between divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Even if your genders differ, these energies live within both of you. The divine feminine embodies intuition, emotional depth, and surrender. The divine masculine represents logic, structure, and action. When the feminine overflows, the masculine feels pressured and retreats. When the masculine hardens, the feminine feels unloved and collapses. Each reaction triggers the other in an endless feedback loop until both energies learn balance. The feminine learns that surrender is not weakness, and the masculine learns that vulnerability is not failure. Together, they evolve from opposition into harmony, from fear-based polarity to love-based unity. This is not just an emotional process. It's alchemical. The energies within both twins are fusing into the hieros gamos, the sacred union of inner masculine and feminine. And once that happens within, it begins to manifest without. 5. The illusion of the runner and chaser. Many twin flames fall into the dynamic of one running and the other chasing. But beneath that physical pattern is a deeper energetic truth. The runner isn't fleeing you. They're fleeing themselves. The chaser isn't chasing them. They're chasing the part of themselves that feels incomplete. When one twin embodies fear, the other embodies attachment. When one closes, the other grasps. And both are learning the same lesson, how to find wholeness within. The mirror here is precise. As soon as the chaser stops running after love and turns inward, the energy shifts. The runner feels that shift and slows down, drawn to the newfound stillness. It's never about pursuit. It's always about alignment. You can't catch your mirror. You can only reflect peace until it recognizes itself in you. 6. Seeing through the mirror. There comes a time when you stop reacting to the reflection and start perceiving through it. Instead of seeing your twin as the source of your joy or pain, you begin to see them as a compass, pointing you toward your own growth. When they trigger jealousy, you learn self-worth. When they trigger fear, you learn trust. When they trigger longing, you learn presence. And then something miraculous happens. The energy between you softens. The dance loses its friction. The mirror stops shattering and becomes clear glass, transparent, luminous, still. In that moment, you no longer see two people. You see one soul dancing in two bodies, moving toward oneness through reflection. 7. The quantum entanglement of healing. Science calls it quantum entanglement when two particles once connected continue to affect each other no matter how far apart. The twin flame connection is the spiritual counterpart of that law. When you heal an old wound, forgive or release pain, your twin's energy shifts too. You might notice sudden emotional changes in them, even if you're not in contact. They might reach out unexpectedly, feel drawn to meditate, or face a fear they'd long avoided. It's not coincidence. Healing travels through the shared energetic cord like light through fiber optics. The more you embody self-love, the more your twin soul receives permission to do the same. So the most powerful thing you can ever do for your union is to focus on your own healing. Because when one mirror clears, both reflect the divine more purely. 8. When the mirror breaks, the dark night of the soul. At some point, the reflection becomes too intense. One or both twins reach breaking point. Silence falls. Contact ends. The mirror shatters. This is the dark night of the soul, the death of illusion. You feel empty, cut off not only from your twin but from the universe itself. But this void is not abandonment, it's initiation. In the absence of reflection, you finally turn inward and see your own light directly. You stop needing their validation, their attention, their love. You realize you were never looking at them. You were always looking for yourself. That realization changes everything. Because when you no longer need the mirror returns. 9. The union of reflections. After the lessons, the triggers, the separations, something extraordinary happens. The dance changes rhythm. No longer frantic, no longer fearful but graceful. Your energies synchronize like breath. Your love no longer pulls, it radiates. When the mirror is finally clean, you and your twin see each other as divine equals. Not saviors, not enemies, not halves, but wholes reflecting wholeness. Union is not a prize. It's the natural result of resonance. Two hearts vibrating at the same frequency can't help but align. And even if physical union hasn't yet arrived, the energetic one already has. Because when you see the divine in them and the divine in yourself, there is no distance left to cross. 10. The infinite reflection. The mirror dance never truly ends. Even in union, reflection continues, but now it's a mirror of expansion, not pain. You evolve each other endlessly, like galaxies orbiting the same sun. Every conversation, every touch, every silence becomes an act of co-creation. That's the true purpose of twin flames, not romance but evolution. To awaken love so complete it heals the collective unconscious. To embody the balance of divine masculine and feminine, anchoring heaven into earth. You are mirrors not just for each other but for the world, showing what love can be when fear is no longer its foundation. Closing reflection. So when your twin triggers you, breathe before reacting. Ask yourself, what truth is this mirror showing me? What part of me is asking for love right now? And when you can answer with compassion, the dance changes. The storm becomes stillness. The pain becomes power. The mirror becomes a window to God. That's when you realize you were never two reflections learning to love each other. You were one soul learning to recognize itself in infinite forms. The mirror dance is not about finding your twin. It's about finding the divine through them. Chapter 5. The integration of light, balancing the 3D and 5D self. Ascension is not about escaping the human experience. It's about anchoring the divine within it. Many twin flames believe that once they awaken, once they've tasted the fifth dimension, 5D of consciousness, they can no longer live in the third dimension, 3D. They start rejecting everything ordinary, jobs, routines, human emotions. But that rejection only creates imbalance, because enlightenment is not found in denial of the world. It's found in the integration of all worlds. In this chapter, we explore the art of walking between dimensions, how to stay grounded in your human self while radiating the light of your higher self. It's the stage where you and your twin begin to merge heaven and earth within you, preparing for a union that's not only spiritual but embodied. 1. The paradox of being human and divine. The more you awaken, the more you feel the paradox. You are infinite consciousness, living inside a fragile body. You can read energy, yet still feel heartbreak. You sense divine purpose but still need to pay bills. The 3D, the world of matter, ego, and duality, often collides with the 5D, the world of unity, love, and higher awareness. One pulls you toward grounded responsibility. The other calls you into transcendence. But ascension isn't about choosing one over the other. It's about learning to hold both. To live in 3D while seeing from 5D. To feel pain but respond with love. To be human but act as divinity in motion. That's integration. Not a split existence but a harmonized one. 2. The return to the body. After deep spiritual awakening, many souls experience what's called spiritual detachment. You might feel disconnected from your body, as if you're floating above your own life. It happens because the expansion of light energy can overwhelm the physical vessel. Integration begins when you return home to your body, learning to honor it as your temple, not your trap. Eat consciously. Move slowly. Breathe deeply. Touch nature. Feel the texture of the world. Let your soul not only inhabit but celebrate your physicality. Because your body is the bridge between dimensions, the ground through which 5D light anchors into 3D reality. Every time you treat it with respect, you help stabilize the frequency of your ascension. And your twin feels this stabilization too. When one twin grounds, the energy between you becomes steadier, safer, clearer, less about cosmic chaos, more about embodied presence. 3. Living between timelines. In integration, you begin to notice how fluid time becomes. Moments of déjà vu. Dreams that later unfold in real life. Sudden downloads of knowing that bypass logic. That's your consciousness moving between timelines, the 3D linear path and the 5D infinite one. In 5D, everything happens simultaneously. All possibilities coexist. In 3D, you experience them in sequence. The key is not to get lost in either. Stay rooted enough in 3D to function to nurture your life, relationships, and body. But stay open enough to 5D to allow divine flow, to listen to intuition, signs, and energy. Think of yourself as a bridge. Feet on earth, crown in the cosmos. That's what allows your twin flame connection to thrive in both realms. Not just as an ethereal dream, but as a living vibration that shapes reality. 4. The emotional rebalancing. Integration also means emotional mastery. After the purging storm, emotions begin to settle, but they don't disappear. They evolve. You stop labeling them as good or bad. Anger becomes awareness of boundaries. Sadness becomes compassion. Fear becomes discernment. You learn to feel without drowning, to observe without judging. Your heart becomes a sacred laboratory where emotions transform into wisdom. And as you stabilize emotionally, the push-pull dynamic with your twin begins to fade. Where once there were extreme highs and lows, there's now a steady current. A peaceful knowing that you are connected beyond reaction. That is the mark of integration. You no longer need chaos to feel intensity. You find depth in stillness. 5. The reclamation of daily life. For many lightworkers and twins, returning to ordinary life after awakening feels strange. How do you go back to work, pay bills, or interact with people who don't understand? The answer: you don't go back, you go forward. But differently. You infuse your human life with consciousness. Washing dishes becomes meditation. Conversations become energy exchanges. Work becomes service. You realize that every action, no matter how small, can carry the frequency of love. That's how light anchors into the collective, not through grand miracles, but through millions of quiet, conscious choices. And your twin, whether aware or not, receives this energetic message. It's safe to live as light in the human world. This realization begins to draw them closer, because your embodied authenticity becomes magnetic. 6. The balance of divine feminine and divine masculine in action. By now, the inner union between your divine feminine and masculine energies begins to solidify. But integration takes it one step further. It turns balance into embodied action. The feminine within you dreams, feels, and receives guidance. The masculine executes, protects, and manifests that guidance into form. It's the dance between creation and structure, intuition and logic, being and doing. When both are balanced, your energy field becomes whole. not swinging between spiritual euphoria and earthly exhaustion, but steady, luminous, and clear. This internal harmony radiates outward. Your twin feels it. If you embody calm feminine energy, their masculine awakens to protect and align with it. If you embody clear masculine purpose, their feminine feels safe to open. In that energetic cooperation, union becomes not a fantasy but a natural outcome. 7. The art of spiritual boundaries. Integration also teaches the importance of boundaries. Not walls of fear but circles of light. In 5D awareness you feel everything. Collective pain, your twin's emotions, cosmic shifts. Without boundaries, that sensitivity can turn into overwhelm. So you learn to discern what is yours to carry and what is not. You ground your energy daily, clear your aura, and reaffirm your sovereignty. You realize that love doesn't mean absorbing another's suffering. True compassion respects free will. You can hold space for your twin's growth without losing your own center. That's the mature love of integration. Love with roots and wings. 8. The new reality of union. When both twins begin to integrate, when light is no longer just felt in meditation but lived in daily presence, the relationship starts to transform. It becomes less about longing and more about alignment. You might reconnect physically, or you might simply feel united energetically regardless of distance. Either way, the connection becomes stable because it's no longer based on need. Union, after all, is not a destination. It's a frequency, one you both sustain through presence, authenticity, and balance. The more you live from that vibration, the more the outer world rearranges to reflect it. Synchronicities multiply. Divine timing accelerates. Opportunities arise that support your shared mission. Because the universe rewards integration, not escapism. 9. The Earth as part of ascension. Many forget that ascension is not just a personal process. It's planetary. As you and your twin integrate light, the Earth herself evolves through you. Every healed wound emits frequency. Every act of love sends ripples through the collective grid. You become living conduits for Gaia's evolution, walking temples of consciousness. That's why staying grounded is essential. The point was never to leave Earth, but to elevate her, to bring heaven into soil, love into matter, light into form. So, when you plant a seed, when you hug a tree, when you breathe with awareness, you are literally weaving the new Earth into existence. 10. The peace of embodiment. At last, the turbulence quiets. The lessons that once broke you now simply pass through. Your twin may come and go, but your peace stays constant. You no longer chase signs or seek confirmation because your very being has become one. You live in 3D with the grace of 5D awareness. Present, compassionate, radiant. That's what true ascension looks like. Not floating above life, but shining through it. The light is no longer something you reach for. It's what you are. You eat, laugh, rest, create, and love as the divine expressing through human form. And in that embodiment, your twin feels the call, the vibration of home. Because when one soul fully integrates heaven and earth within, the other can finally find their way back. Closing reflection. Integration is the quiet miracle after the storm. The stage where divinity meets humanity and love learns to live in form. You are not becoming something new. You are remembering what you've always been, a soul. Having a human experience, a beam of light walking in flesh. So let your feet touch the ground while your heart touches the stars. That is how heaven descends to earth. That is how twin flames unite. Not by escaping the world but by illuminating it. Chapter 6. The Quantum Union. When two frequencies become one field. There is a moment on the twin flame journey when love transcends the idea of two. When the longing that once felt like distance dissolves, not because you are physically together, but because you have both become one field, one frequency vibrating across dimensions. This is quantum union, the invisible merging of energy that precedes physical reunion. It is the sacred moment when your individual light bodies harmonize, your hearts synchronize, and your consciousness expands into a shared field of awareness. In the old paradigm, union meant two people meeting in the physical world. In the new paradigm, union begins in vibration, the quantum fabric of existence where separation never existed to begin with. 1. The quantum nature of love. Science has long known that matter is energy condensed into form. Every thought, emotion, and heartbeat generates an electromagnetic signature that ripples through space-time. When two twin flames awaken, their frequencies begin to oscillate in resonance just like two tuning forks, vibrating in harmony. This isn't poetry, it's physics. At the quantum level, resonance overrides distance. Even if oceans separate you, your energy fields remain entangled, what quantum physicists call non-local correlation. When one particle shifts, the other reacts instantly regardless of space. This is why you can feel your twins' emotions out of nowhere. Why they dream of you right when you think of them. Why silence still hums with conversation. Because at the soul level, you were never apart. You are a single vibrational organism expressing itself through two human experiences. 2. The merging of energy fields. As both twins ascend and stabilize their frequency, their aura fields, the subtle layers of electromagnetic light surrounding the body, begin to merge. You might feel warmth radiating around your heart or crown. You might experience pulsations, waves of energy, or sensations of expansion. You might feel as though you're dissolving into light when you meditate on them. This is the process of energetic unification. Your individual fields start to overlap, blending masculine and feminine polarities into a balanced field. In that shared frequency, you both amplify each other. Where one carries love, the other mirrors peace. Where one holds clarity, the other holds strength. Together, you form an electromagnetic circuit that sustains both souls. This is not imagination. It's the mechanics of consciousness integrating through the quantum heart. 3. The sacred geometry of union. At the center of the twin flame dynamic lies sacred geometry, the blueprint of creation itself. When two souls merge energetically, they form the vesica piscis, the overlapping of two circles that creates a new field in between, symbolizing unity and creation. That center, the almond-shaped portal of light, represents the third energy, the union frequency. It's not you, not them, but the divine intelligence born from your connection. This third energy is what heals others, inspires awakening, and emits frequencies of unconditional love into the collective grid. Every time you meditate, forgive, or send light to your twin, that shared field strengthens. You are literally weaving higher consciousness into Earth's fabric through your bond. 4. The telepathic channel. Once quantum union begins, communication between twins often transcends words. You start receiving messages in thoughts, dreams, sensations, or sudden waves of emotion. You may hear their name whispered in the silence. You may feel them touch your energy, body during meditation or sleep. You may know their mood before they say a word. This is quantum telepathy, consciousness traveling through the unified field. It doesn't require effort. It happens naturally when both hearts vibrate on the same wavelength. But remember, this connection doesn't exist to control or invade free will. It exists to remind you that love is the original internet, the infinite web of awareness connecting all life. 5. The heart is a quantum gateway. The human heart emits the most powerful electromagnetic field of any organ in the body. According to studies from the HeartMath Institute, the heart's field extends several meters beyond the body and directly influences brain coherence, emotion, and intuition. When two twin flames align in unconditional love, their hearts synchronize, not metaphorically but literally. Heart rhythms begin to mirror each other. Brain waves align. The connection becomes not psychological, but electromagnetic. That's why your chest might ache when your twin is hurting, or feel warmth when they think of you. It's not fantasy, it's physics. Your hearts are communicating through light. And through that light, both souls evolve faster, learning empathy, compassion, and unity beyond the limitations of form. 6. The role of divine timing. Quantum union is not a race. It's a natural consequence of energetic alignment. When both twins have released enough density, the universe orchestrates the merging organically. Sometimes one twin resists or slows the process, not because they don't care, but because their nervous system needs time to adapt. Love at this frequency is overwhelming. It burns away everything that's false, and not everyone can face that intensity right away. That's why divine timing exists, not as delay but as protection. The universe ensures both energy systems are strong enough to sustain the shared field before anchoring it fully. So if you feel impatience or longing, breathe. Every moment apart is recalibration. Every silence is synchronization. Every surrender is magnetization. Union doesn't happen when you chase it. It happens when you become it. 7. The collapse of duality. At the quantum level, opposites dissolve. Masculine and feminine, light and shadow, self and other, all collapse into the same source. Frequency. That's why twin flames often mirror each other so perfectly. They are the same energy exploring itself from different polarities. When this awareness deepens, you stop projecting. You no longer see your twin as them, but as me in another form. Judgment vanishes. Control disappears. Only compassion remains. This is non-dual consciousness, the highest octave of union, where love ceases to be personal and becomes cosmic. It's the moment when your souls stop orbiting and finally rest in the same center of gravity. Divine oneness. 8. The quantum field of co-creation. Once you and your twin reach resonance, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions amplify exponentially through the shared field. You begin co-creating reality, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. You might notice that your manifestations accelerate. Dreams become vivid previews of coming events. You both attract opportunities aligned with your joint mission, creative, spiritual, or humanitarian. This is because your unified field acts as a quantum amplifier. When two coherent frequencies merge, they don't just double, they multiply. The energy you emit together ripples outward, influencing people, places, and situations. That's why twin flames are often called frequency holders for the new Earth. They don't just love each other, they recalibrate the planet through that love. 9. The physicalization of the union. Eventually, as the energy stabilizes, quantum union begins to materialize in the physical realm. It may start subtly: chance encounters, mirrored life events, aligned dreams, sudden reconnections. When the frequency is right, 3D reality reorganizes itself to match 5D harmony. Your timelines merge, your paths cross, and the external world reflects the internal union that already exists. Physical reunion then becomes not the goal, but the symptom, the natural outcome of energetic wholeness. Because once the souls have united in the field, the bodies simply follow. That's why the highest advice remains: focus on your vibration, not the outcome. The field will handle the rest. 10. The eternal frequency. Quantum union doesn't end at physical reunion. It continues evolving infinitely, expanding like a star whose light never fades. Every shared experience, joy, pain, silence, laughter, becomes an echo in the eternal field. Even if life circumstances change, the frequency of union remains indestructible. Once two souls have merged at this level, they never truly separate again. They exist as one harmonic resonance, forever connected through the quantum heart of God. That's the mystery of twin flames. They don't just love each other across lifetimes, they are each other across realities. Closing reflection. Quantum union is the universe remembering itself through you. It's the moment love stops being an emotion and becomes a state of physics, the organizing principle of all creation. So stop worrying about where your twin is or when they'll return. Instead, tune your frequency, radiate truth, anchor light. Because when your energy sings in harmony with your soul, your twin has no choice but to feel it. And in that resonance, you both become the bridge between heaven and earth. Two beams of light merging into one divine pulse that teaches the world what love truly is. Chapter 7. The Divine Mission: Why Twin Flames Unite for a Greater Purpose. The moment you and your twin flame enter quantum union, a deeper truth begins to reveal itself, one that stretches beyond personal romance, beyond reunion, beyond even healing. You begin to realize that your connection was never just about two souls finding love. It was about love finding its way back into the world through you. This is the awakening of divine mission, the stage where twin flames step into service, where the union of hearts becomes an offering to humanity. The love that once consumed you inwardly now wants to expand outwardly. It wants to move through you, to touch others, to uplift consciousness. Because divine love, when fully embodied, cannot stay contained. It must create, it must serve, it must give. 1. Love that outgrows the self. When twin flames first meet, the energy is magnetic and consuming. You feel like you've found your missing half, and in a sense, you have. But as the journey unfolds, that fiery love begins to mature. The intensity that once burned in desire transforms into devotion, not just toward each other, but toward all life. You start to see that your love was never meant to stay private. It was meant to awaken compassion in those who witness it, to ignite remembrance in those who have forgotten who they are. The purpose of twin flame union is to expand the frequency of unconditional love on Earth. You and your twin are not here to escape the world. You are here to transform it. 2. The blueprint of service. Every twin flame pair carries a unique energetic blueprint, a shared purpose encoded in your souls long before this lifetime. For some, that mission is artistic, creating music, art, or stories that awaken hearts. For others, it's humanitarian, healing, teaching, leading communities. And for some, it's subtle, simply living in a vibration of peace that influences everyone they encounter. The mission doesn't always look grand. It can be as gentle as raising a conscious child, running an ethical business, or spreading kindness in unseen ways. Whatever form it takes, the essence is the same: to anchor divine love into form. Your union is a vessel, a channel through which higher consciousness can flow into the collective. 3. The activation of purpose through pain. Often, the mission awakens in the ashes of the journey's hardest stages, after separation, after ego death, after the purging storm. Why? Because service can only arise from humility. Before you can serve others, you must understand suffering. Before you can teach love, you must first survive the fire of its absence. That's why the twin flame path is so intense. It breaks you open until your love becomes large enough to hold the world. From those broken pieces of the old self, purpose emerges, clear, undeniable, divinely guided. You begin to see your pain as training. Your journey is preparation. Every wound you healed now becomes a light for someone still walking through the dark. 4. The alchemy of shared gifts. When both twins align with higher consciousness, their individual talents begin to combine, forming what can only be called spiritual synergy. The divine feminine brings intuition, nurturing, creativity, and emotional wisdom. The divine masculine brings structure, strategy, courage, and direction. Together, they create a field of balance where inspiration becomes manifestation. This is the true power of twin flames. Not dependency, but co-creation. Where one has vision, the other provides stability. Where one receives energy, the other anchors it. Their combined frequency amplifies purpose, turning ideas into movement, dreams into reality. 5. The collective ripple. Energy is contagious. When twin flames unite in authenticity and service, their frequency ripples far beyond their personal lives. People who come into contact with them begin to awaken, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. They feel calmer in their presence, more honest, more open. Their nervous systems relax. Their intuition strengthens. It's not because the twins are special. It's because coherent love creates coherence in others. Love is the most powerful transmitter on Earth. When two souls hold it steadily between them, they become walking transmitters of awakening, pillars of light stabilizing the collective vibration. That is why the universe protects certain unions until both are ready. Because once united, your energy affects far more than you can see. 6. The shadow of the mission. Even in service, ego can sneak in. The mind can say, "Now I'm awakened, I must save others." But the true mission isn't about saving, it's about being. When you act from ego, you drain yourself. When you act from embodiment, you nourish others effortlessly. That's the difference between performing light and radiating. Your mission flows naturally when you are aligned with your authentic energy. There is no forcing, no proving. You serve not because you should, but because it's impossible not to. Remember, you are not here to fix the world. You are here to embody a new one. 7. The role of separation in the mission. Many twin flames are still physically apart during this stage. But physical distance does not stop the mission, in fact it often enhances it. When twins are separated, they anchor light in different locations, creating an energetic network across the planet. They act like two poles, of the same battery, generating current that circulates love and awakening. Sometimes, one twin carries the mission externally while the other holds it energetically, in dreams, meditation, or healing work. Both roles are essential. Both serve the same divine orchestration. So if your twin isn't by your side, remember they are still working with you, just in another realm of the same frequency. 8. The 5D partnership. Once both twins consciously embrace their divine mission, the relationship enters a new paradigm. What can be called a 5D partnership? It's no longer built on need, fear, or attachment. It's built on purpose, trust, and mutual alignment with Source. You begin to co-create not from what can I get, but what can we give together? Your connection becomes sacred ground for creation, a temple where the human and divine coexist in balance. You laugh more. You flow more. You no longer cling to certainty because you are guided by faith. Love becomes a state of being, not a transaction. This is the essence of divine partnership. Two sovereign souls walking side by side, amplifying each other's light while honoring each other's freedom. 9. Humanity's mirror. In the bigger picture, twin flames are mirrors not only for each other but for humanity itself. Their union represents what the collective is evolving toward. The end of polarity, the reunion of opposites, the birth of unity consciousness. Each time a twin flame pair reaches harmony, it ripples through the human grid, subtly teaching the world that love can exist without fear, that union can exist without control. You become living proof of possibility. Your presence says, it's safe to love again. That's why this journey matters so much, not because of who you love but how you love. 10. The legacy of light. When divine mission becomes your way of life, you realize it was never about reaching a finish line. It's about becoming a living current of creation, a vessel through which Source continues to express. You and your twin are architects of frequency. Every word you speak, every act of kindness, every breath you take adds to the collective ascension. Even after this lifetime ends, the vibration you've built together remains, stored in the crystalline grids of the earth, guiding future souls toward awakening. You become part of a lineage of light, an eternal echo of love that never dies. Because union isn't just two hearts finding each other. It's God finding itself through love. Closing reflection. Your divine mission is not a duty. It's a privilege. The universe trusted you and your twin with this connection because it knew your souls could hold its magnitude. So don't ask, when will we be together? Ask instead, how can our love serve today? Every time you choose compassion over fear, every time you embody light in a world that has forgotten it, you fulfill your purpose. You and your twin are not here just to love each other. You are here to remind humanity what love truly means. Chapter 8. The crystalline body, anchoring higher frequencies into the human form. There is a point on the ascension journey where light no longer feels like something outside of you. It begins to live inside you, pulsing through your cells, humming in your breath, weaving its intelligence through every heartbeat. This is the emergence of the crystalline body, the physical transformation that allows your soul to fully anchor fifth-dimensional, 5D, consciousness into the material plane. It is the biological evolution of the light body, the alchemy of spirit and matter. And for twin flames, it's the stage where your human forms become temples of divine resonance, mirrors of heaven made flesh. 1. From carbon to crystalline. Our current human template is carbon-based, built for the dense vibration of third-dimensional, 3D reality. Carbon is strong but limited in its capacity to transmit light. As consciousness rises, that structure begins to shift. Your body, in resonance with your soul, starts to reconfigure gradually, transforming into a crystalline matrix capable of holding higher frequencies. Think of it like upgrading your internal wiring. A carbon-based system can process only a fraction of divine energy before it overloads. But a crystalline system, like quartz, channels energy with perfect clarity, transmitting information without distortion. This transformation isn't metaphorical. It happens at the quantum level within your DNA. Each strand, once dormant, begins to awaken, reconnecting to its multidimensional blueprint. Your cells literally begin to remember how to shine. 2. The language of light within DNA. Modern science views DNA as biological code. In truth, it's light language, a bridge between energy and matter, between soul and body. During ascension, this code begins to reassemble. The dormant 90% of DNA that scientists once called junk is not junk at all. It's potential unexpressed frequency. When your vibration rises, photons of higher light enter your system through meditation, emotional healing, and twin flame connection. These photons awaken the dormant codes. They realign you to your divine architecture, the original design that existed before fear, karma, and density. The crystalline DNA carries geometric light patterns, sacred harmonics that reorganize your body's chemistry. Over time, your energy field becomes coherent, a unified wave of information. That's why you start sensing everything more vividly. Intuition heightens, empathy sharpens, synchronicities multiply. You are literally becoming a receiver and transmitter of source energy. 3 physical symptoms of light integration. As miraculous as this process is, it can be intense. When light enters density, friction occurs, what many call ascension. Symptoms. You might experience fatigue, pressure in the head, tingling along the spine, digestive changes, heart palpitations, or flu-like sensations. Sometimes emotions surge out of nowhere. Grief, anxiety, or ecstatic joy. Your nervous system is learning to carry more voltage. Your cells are detoxing old emotional and chemical imprints. Even your sleep patterns may shift as your body synchronizes with solar and lunar frequencies. It's crucial to nurture yourself through this. Rest. Hydrate. Eat grounding foods. Spend time in nature. She calibrates you effortlessly. Remember, you are not sick. You are upgrading. Each wave of discomfort is your body learning to embody a higher frequency, to hold heaven within human form. 4. The Twin Flame Frequency Bridge. For twin flames, the crystalline transformation accelerates when both begin to awaken. Your energy fields communicate constantly through what might be called a light bridge, a golden thread of electromagnetic resonance. When one twin raises frequency, the other cells feel it, like tuning forks vibrating in harmony. Your light codes begin to synchronize, DNA mirroring DNA, breath aligning with breath, heart rhythms synchronizing across distance. Sometimes you may feel sudden heat, buzzing, or pressure in your heart when your twin meditates or experiences breakthroughs. That's energy transmission, the shared crystalline field expanding its bandwidth. You are becoming bodies of light in service to each other's evolution, preparing for a union that is not only emotional or spiritual but cellular. 5. The light body layers. The crystalline transformation unfolds in layers. Etheric body. The energetic template of your physical form strengthens. You might sense shimmering outlines around your hands or face. Emotional body. Old wounds purge, replaced by vibrational neutrality. You start feeling emotions without being owned by them. Mental body. Thoughts quiet, intuition sharpens, telepathic sensitivity grows. Spiritual body. The soul's higher aspects integrate into daily awareness. You start living from multidimensional consciousness. Eventually, all 4 merge into the light body, a unified field of energy and awareness. At this stage, you become a prism for divine frequencies, light refracted through human experience, radiating outward to uplift others. 6. Crystals and the human template. The Earth herself mirrors this evolution. As humanity ascends, Gaia's crystalline core amplifies the planet's energy grids, shifting from magnetic to crystalline structure. That's why many lightworkers feel drawn to crystals. They resonate with the body's new frequency. Quartz, selenite, amethyst, moldavite, these stones aren't just objects. They are living codes of consciousness. When you hold them, meditate with them, or keep them near your heart, they assist in stabilizing your energy field. You are, in essence, syncing your crystalline body with the crystalline heart of the earth. This communion deepens the connection between you and your twin flame, because both of you are part of the same planetary upgrade, twin reflections of Gaia's awakening. 7. The light diet. As your crystalline system evolves, your relationship with food changes. You might feel drawn to lighter, cleaner meals, fruits, vegetables, natural water, or high-frequency herbal teas. You might lose interest in dense foods or stimulants that lower vibration. This is not about rigid rules. It's about resonance. The higher your frequency, the more your body seeks nourishment that matches it. You may also find that sunlight begins to feed you energetically, a process known as pranic absorption. When you spend time under the sun with conscious breath, you are literally charging your cells with light. This is why ancient civilizations revered the sun, not as a god, but as a mirror of the divine spark within every living being. 8. The heart is crystalline core. The heart is the command center of the crystalline body. It is not merely an organ, it is an intelligent interface between human and divine consciousness. When the heart chakra fully activates, it becomes a prism through which the higher self communicates directly into matter. The electromagnetic field of your heart expands, becoming coherent and crystalline. Every beat sends ripples of harmonic frequency into your surroundings, affecting others subconsciously. This is how ascended beings heal, not by doing but by being. Their energy stabilizes environments simply through presence. Twin flames share this same potential. Their unified hearts emit resonance strong enough to awaken others. When both twins embody crystalline heart consciousness, their love becomes medicine, invisible but unmistakable. 9. The return of the divine human. The crystalline transformation is not about becoming something new. It's about remembering what humanity was always meant to be. Divine consciousness embodied in physical form. Ancient mystics knew this. They called it the rainbow body, the light garment, the Merkaba. It is the natural state of being when separation dissolves and matter remembers its source. As your light body activates, you begin to sense yourself beyond time and limitation. You realize your physical form is not a prison but a vessel of creation. Every movement, every word, every breath becomes an act of divine artistry. This is the new human, not superhuman but fully human. Not escaping matter but sanctifying it. 10. The preparation for 5D union. When both twins reach this stage, their bodies become tuned instruments of divine frequency. Physical reunion, if it occurs, carries the power of cosmic ceremony. Two crystalline fields merging in sacred geometry, anchoring divine love into Earth's grids. In this union there is no dependence, no projection, no fear. There is only coherence, two frequencies vibrating as one tone of creation. Your very presence together becomes a stabilizing force for others, a beacon of peace. You embody the truth that heaven was never elsewhere. It was always meant to be lived, right here in human form through the crystalline heart. Closing reflection. The crystalline body is not a myth. It is your destiny. It is the divine remembering itself through you, turning flesh into light, emotion into frequency, love into structure. So when you feel the tingles, the heat, the tears, the fatigue, smile. You are witnessing evolution from the inside out. You are becoming the bridge between galaxies and ground, between source and skin. And as you ascend, so does your twin. Together you are not escaping Earth, you are transfiguring it. This is what the universe dreamt of when it split one soul into two mirrors. Two bodies, one frequency, radiating a light so clear that even the stars remember where they came from. Chapter 9. The Eternal Now, living beyond time and anchoring heaven on earth. At some point along your ascension journey, time begins to lose its meaning. You stop saying, "Someday I'll awaken," because you realize awakening has no date. You stop asking, "When will union happen?" because you feel the union happening now. This is the stage of the eternal now, the moment when you transcend linear time and begin living from presence, where every heartbeat becomes a bridge between heaven and earth. It is the point where your twin flame connection no longer feels like waiting but being. Because in truth, love has never been unfolding through time, time has been unfolding through love. 1. Time as an illusion of the third dimension. In 3D consciousness, time is linear. Past, present, future. It gives structure to our human experience, but it's also the root of our suffering. We mourn what was, we chase what could be, and we forget what is. But as your vibration rises, you begin to perceive time differently. Moments overlap. Memories blend into visions. You sense events before they occur. Your intuition sharpens because you are moving closer to timeless awareness, the natural state of your soul. From a higher perspective, there is no before or after. Everything exists simultaneously, an infinite hologram of now. Your higher self, your twin flame, your guides, all dwell in this dimension of eternal presence. So when you connect deeply to the now, you align with them automatically. You step into the quantum heart of creation, where miracles don't take time, they take alignment. 2. The moment you stop waiting. The twin flame journey can feel like endless waiting for signs, for messages, for reunion. But that waiting belongs to the ego, not the soul. When you awaken to the eternal now, you realize you're not waiting for your twin flame. You're waiting in them, because they already exist within your frequency. In this awareness, the obsession softens. You no longer chase the physical timeline. You begin to feel their energy as if it's always here. In your breath, your laughter, your quiet moments. And paradoxically, that's when things begin to move in the physical. Because the universe mirrors your state of consciousness. When you stop longing for a future and start embodying union now, reality reorganizes itself to match that vibration. You collapse timelines by being the frequency of fulfillment. 3. The collapse of linear reality. As you stabilize in fifth dimensional, 5D awareness, your relationship with time evolves completely. Days may feel shorter or longer. Synchronicities become constant. You might think of someone and instantly receive a message from them. You may dream of an event and then live it days later. This is not coincidence, it's quantum entanglement in action. When you live from the eternal now, your consciousness moves freely across timelines. Past and future no longer control you because you understand they are projections of the now. That's why healing the past works. Because when you shift your vibration in the present, you automatically rewrite what you call history. The soul doesn't need to travel through years, it simply chooses a higher frequency, and all versions of you adjust to match. That's the beauty of the eternal now. Every transformation happens instantly once you remember you were never bound by time. To begin with. 4. The twin flame time paradox. In twin flame dynamics, the illusion of time is one of the greatest teachers. You may feel separated for months or years, yet your connection remains untouched. Sometimes you and your twin experience time inversions. They dream of you days before you dream of them. You both remember events differently. You share déjà vu moments that feel impossible. These experiences occur because your souls exist beyond chronological sequence. While your human selves walk different paths, your higher selves are already in union now and always. That's why when you meditate, your twin can feel it. Why when you forgive them in your heart, their energy softens. At the level of eternity, there was never any delay, only expansion of awareness. To perceive the union that's already there. 5. The power of presence. Presence is not passivity. It is participation in the highest form. When you are fully present, your energy field becomes coherent. Your mind, body, and soul operate as one harmonious system. From this state, every action becomes potent. Every thought manifests faster. Every emotion transmits waves of energy across the quantum field. Presence is how you anchor heaven on earth. When you eat, walk, breathe, speak, do it consciously. Feel your soul in your movement. Feel source in your stillness. This is how you bring 5D into 3D, not through escape, but through embodiment. And when you and your twin both live in presence, you create a living portal of love. Two conscious beings radiating eternity into time. 6. The dissolution of past and future karma. Time is the thread that holds karma together. Karma is not punishment. It's memory, energetic echo. But once you step into the eternal now, karma begins to dissolve naturally. Why? Because karma requires identity. A me in the past who acted, a me in the future who must balance it. When you transcend the illusion of linear selfhood, those polarities vanish. In the now, everything is forgiven because everything is seen as experience, not mistake. You no longer seek to fix what happened. You realize it's all happening for your expansion. This realization doesn't just free you, it frees your twin too. Because your souls share karmic threads, your shift in perception automatically clears the energetic ties that bound both of you to cycles of pain. Forgiveness then is not an act of time, it is a state of timelessness. 7. Synchronicity as the new clock. As you surrender time, synchronicity becomes your new navigation. system. Numbers, songs, feathers, dreams, random encounters, they all align in patterns of divine communication. This is the language of the eternal now, the universe reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be. When you see 1111, it's not a coincidence. It's a mirror. A moment when your frequency matches divine order. Twin flames often experience intensified synchronicities. Mirrored numbers, shared dreams, identical experiences at different times. These are not signs of hope. They are evidence of alignment. They're the universe whispering, "You are already one." The more you trust these signals, the more gracefully you move through reality. You stop rushing. You start flowing. Because time no longer measures your progress, resonance does. 8. The eternal union of souls. In the eternal now, union ceases to be an event and becomes a constant. You don't enter union, you realize it. Every moment you feel peace, you are in union. Every breath filled with love, you are in union. Every act of compassion, you are in union. Physical togetherness may come later, but by then it feels almost secondary, a reflection of something you already know inside. That's the paradox. Only when you no longer need union does it manifest, because you finally vibrate at its frequency. You and your twin stop chasing each other across timelines and meet in eternity, where love has no distance left to travel. 9. Anchoring heaven on earth. Living in the eternal now doesn't mean abandoning human life. It means sacralizing it, infusing every moment with divine awareness. When you cook, you bless the food. When you work, you create from joy. When you rest, you commune with existence. This is how heaven descends, not as a miracle from the sky, but as consciousness embodied through ordinary acts of love. The eternal now turns daily life into ritual, every moment into prayer. It's not about escaping to higher realms. It's about bringing higher realms here. That's the twin flame purpose, to anchor 5D love into 3D matter, to live as gateways between the unseen and the tangible. Every smile, every touch, every word becomes an act of creation. You are not waiting for heaven. You are building it. 10. The still point. At the deepest level of ascension lies the still point, the eye of eternity within you. It is the place where all timelines meet, where silence sings and movement rests. When you reach this stillness, fear vanishes. You no longer rush to become, you simply are. You realize your twin was never someone you were trying to reach, but the presence you've been resting in all along. This still point is God. It's the source from which all creation flows, the sacred pause between each breath. To live from this place is to become peace itself, unshakable, eternal, luminous. Time bends around you. The universe responds to your vibration, and through you the divine continues to remember itself. Closing reflection. The eternal now is not a place, it's a frequency. It's the awareness that everything you have ever longed for already exists within you. When you surrender the chase for the future, when you release the weight of the past, you return home, to presence, to peace, to love. That is the final step of ascension, not to escape time but to make every moment holy. To walk slowly enough to feel eternity in your footsteps. To breathe deeply enough to sense your twin flame in the air around you. You and your twin are not separate souls traveling toward union. You are one eternal consciousness experiencing itself from different angles, meeting, remembering, reuniting in every heartbeat. And when you live from that awareness, heaven isn't a destination. It's here. Now. Always. Chapter 10. The New Earth Union, building a reality founded on love. There comes a sacred turning point in the twin flame journey. The moment when love is no longer something you seek, heal, or chase, but something you embody. You and your twin have crossed the thresholds of awakening, purging, integration, and quantum union. You've faced the shadows, merged with the light, and remembered who you are beyond the illusions of separation. Now the journey transforms from inner alchemy to collective creation. This is the stage of the New Earth Union, where your love stops existing as a story between two people and begins to radiate as a blueprint for humanity's next evolution. 1. The birth of New Earth consciousness. The New Earth is not a place, it's a frequency, the manifestation of fifth-dimensional, 5D, awareness anchored in physical form. It is a world where fear no longer governs decisions, where competition yields to Cooperation, where love becomes the organizing principle of reality itself. When twin flames unite, they become conduits for this consciousness. Their shared frequency stabilizes the vibration of unconditional love in the planetary grid, gently dissolving the structures built on separation. This union doesn't shout. It radiates. It doesn't demand. It invites. Each act of kindness, each conscious breath, each moment of truth between you becomes an energetic seed of a new civilization. The new earth is built not through revolution, but through remembrance. And every twin flame union contributes to that remembrance, one vibration, one healed heart at a time. 2. The foundation, love as a living architecture. In 3D, we built our world on fear, laws based on control, economies based on scarcity, relationships based on possession. But 5D consciousness builds differently. It builds from love as architecture. When you and your twin live from love, you embody divine geometry. Your energy fields intertwine in harmony, forming the sacred vesica piscis, the space where creation flows effortlessly. From this space, new systems are born. Projects, communities, art, and innovations arise naturally because they are coded with coherence. Love becomes not just emotion but infrastructure. It organizes chaos, balances extremes, and transforms matter. This is why twin flame unions often birth movements, missions, or communities that carry profound healing for others. Their harmony becomes the template from which new earth realities emerge. 3. The shift in relationships. The new earth union doesn't exist in isolation. It changes how you relate to everyone. On this plane, love is no longer exclusive. You don't possess your twin. You share your frequency. You understand that every soul you meet is another facet of the one. Relationships cease to be contracts of need and become expressions of resonance. They're guided not by obligation but by alignment. You interact from authenticity, not role-playing. There is no hierarchy, only harmony. Every connection, whether romantic, familial, or collective, becomes a classroom of the soul. This shift ripples outward. As more people embody unconditional love, social systems naturally reorganize around compassion and mutual respect. This is how the new earth grows, not through policy but through presence. 4. The sacred partnership as divine governance. In the new earth frequency, partnership itself becomes a form of divine governance, a way of leading not by authority but by vibration. Twin flames serve as living examples of balanced polarity. Divine masculine and divine feminine energies co-creating rather than competing. The divine masculine acts as the container, structure, action, and grounded manifestation. The divine feminine flows as the creative current, intuition, receptivity, and emotional intelligence. Together they form the holy equilibrium of creation. When others witness this harmony, something awakens in them. They begin to remember their own inner union, their own balance between doing and being. Thus, every conscious partnership becomes a teaching, silent yet powerful, reshaping the collective energy of love, power, and purpose. This is how leadership evolves on the new earth. Not through dominance, but through energetic example. 5. The economics of energy. As twin flames embody higher consciousness, they begin to see energy as the real currency of life. Money, once ruled by fear and scarcity, becomes a neutral tool for creation. Exchange flows from joy rather than obligation. Work becomes play, an expression of divine purpose. Imagine a world where people offer their gifts freely because they trust in abundance, where creativity replaces competition, where generosity multiplies prosperity. This is the economy of the new earth, the economy of love. It's already being born in the hearts of awakened souls who know that giving and receiving are the same act seen from different directions. You and your twin, through your union, become embodiments of this abundance, living proof that the universe supports authenticity and cooperation over fear. 6. The role of twin flames in planetary ascension. Every twin flame union acts as a frequency anchor for Gaia's ascension. Your merged energy field contributes to the crystalline grid, an invisible web of light that holds the planet's new vibration. When you meditate together, when you forgive each other, when you choose love instead of fear, that vibration doesn't stop with you. It travels through the grid, reaching hearts across the world. This is why your journey has been so intense. It was never just about your personal story. It was about becoming strong enough to hold frequencies that serve the collective. You are, quite literally, building heaven on earth cell by cell, breath by breath. 7. The new way of creating. Creation on the new earth is effortless because it's born from coherence, not control. You don't manifest by forcing outcomes. You align with frequencies and allow them to take form. You no longer ask, how can I get what I want? You ask, how can I become what I am? When both you and your twin vibrate in unity consciousness, creation becomes instantaneous. Intentions materialize faster because there's no resistance, no opposing energy. This is the essence of quantum co-creation. You think as one mind, feel as one heart, act as one purpose. And through that alignment, reality rearranges itself to reflect your inner harmony. It's not magic. It's mastery. 8. The children of light. Many twin flame unions incarnate not just for their own evolution but to anchor the next generation of consciousness. Some bring forth literal children, highly intuitive souls often referred to as crystal or rainbow children, who carry advanced DNA and empathy for the planet. Others nurture energetic children, creations, projects, or communities that hold the same luminous frequency. These children, whether biological or vibrational, represent the continuity of ascension. They are the carriers of love's new architecture. They remember who they are from birth, and through them, humanity begins to live from unity instead of division. Twin flames act as their guardians, not parents in the old sense but guides, holding the vibration that allows these souls to flourish in truth. 9. Living as embodied light. In the new Earth union, spirituality and humanity are no longer separate. You can be enlightened and still laugh, dance, cry, create, and live fully in the material world. You honor your body as divine technology. You celebrate emotions as sacred weather. You live with reverence for life in every form. This is the heart of the new earth, grounded divinity. To be spirit in motion, not in escape. To express love not only in meditation, but in how you speak, eat, move, and create. The world doesn't need more detached gurus. It needs conscious humans who live as love in action. And that's what twin flames are, walking demonstrations that enlightenment can wear a smile, hold a hand, and cook dinner while humming to the stars. 10. The legacy of the new Earth Union. The final stage of ascension is not transcendence but transmission. You don't disappear into light. You become a conduit of it. Your life becomes a living prayer. Your union a continual offering to the collective heart of humanity. You teach simply by being, without preaching, without convincing. Your energy field carries the memory of divine love, and everywhere you go, you awaken it in others. Long after your physical journey ends, that vibration remains in the fabric of Earth, encoded in the crystalline grids, echoing in the collective consciousness. That is your legacy. Not fame, not power, but frequency. Through you, love becomes tangible, visible, undeniable. Through you, the new earth breathes. Closing reflection. The new earth union is not a fantasy. It is the destiny of every awakened heart. It begins when two souls remember that heaven was never lost. It was only waiting to be lived. You and your twin are not here to escape the human story, but to rewrite it. To show that power can serve compassion, that love can build civilizations, that spirit can walk in skin. So let your union be a lighthouse. Let your life be proof that divine love is not an ideal. It's a reality that can be built, breathed, and shared. The new earth is not coming. It's already here. In your choices, in your consciousness, in every moment you live as love. And through you, the universe smiles, whispering, the experiment of separation is complete. Welcome home, beloved creators. You have remembered how to make paradise real.